Hey everybody, it's Bill Slocum at NC State. In this short instructional video, I'm going to show you how to create customized informational pop-ups for the features in your web maps. So, just a little housekeeping, some disclaimers. Neither the National Park Service nor NC State University endorses or recommends any commercial products, processes, or services. This material may not be used for advertising or product endorsement purposes. This material is intended for educational purposes only. Neither the U.S. government nor NC State University warrants or assumes any legal liability or responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or usefulness of any information apparatus, product, process, or process disclosed. Okay. So, this little video is going to talk about creating informational pop-ups so that when you click on a feature in your web map, you get some information about it, such as, maybe a latitude and a longitude, if that's in the database, or the name of the feature. And informational pop-ups have to do with what lies behind the spatial data, behind the points, lines, and polygons. So, just a refresher, when you log in to ArcGIS.com, there's two ways to get there. You can go into a web browser and just type ArcGIS.com, or you can type in nps.maps.arcgis.com. And when you log in, it'll take you to the same location. So, here I've already logged in, and you can see that I've got my profile is up to date. I've got a little picture of myself. I'm on the Park Service website here with ArcGIS Online, and I'm going to go to My Content. And remember, My Content is where you can store your web maps and your GIS web services. And I've got folders to compartmentalize my work. And I'm just going to go into tutorial videos. Now, in a previous video, I had created a web map here, and I'm simply just going to open that by clicking on the link, and you can see it's created a nice little graphic, and I'm just going to click Open in Map Viewer. Now, again, there are multiple ways to get to this location and to open up your map, so I really recommend you just explore and look around. So if I click on my Legend tab, you can see that within my web map, I've got my Colonial National Historical Park kilometer markers here, represented by orange dots. I've got some weather stations from NOAA, and this is actually a service I brought in from NOAA. It does not live within the Park Service organization. And I've also got the Land Resources Division track data, as you can see here, denoting the park, and that is a web service that has come from the ArcGIS Online for Organizations. It was published by the Land Resource Division. So, informational pop-ups. Now, since I brought in the colonial kilometer markers from My Content, if I click on one of those, you can see that I get some information. I can get a FID, which is an internal Esri thing, which nobody really cares about. A comment, and this was data put in by the park. There's an X coordinate in UTM. That's what the Park Service uses. And my data is stored in that coordinate system. Yours may be as well, or it could be in lat long. And I've got some attributes here, some features. So I'm going to actually go in and customize that. And to do that, I click on the Content button. And you can see here that I have a down arrow to the right of my data title, and if I go to Configure Pop-Up, now that's going to take me into the Configure Pop-Up dialog box, and you can see here that I can put in a title. Well, this isn't very attractive to me, so I'm going to type in kilometer markers. And here I have an option to display content within my pop-up, and I can use a list of field attributes, a description from one field, a custom attribute display, or no attribute information at all. So all it does is when you click on it, it says kilometer marker. I want to use a list of attributes. And here you can see the attributes associated with that data. Remember, if I just click on one of these, that's what I see. Well, I want to configure that. So I'm going to click on Configure Attributes. I'm going to turn off the FID, and I'm going to turn off the comment, and I'm going to come in and actually customize this, saying X- coordinate. And I'm going to do the same thing for the Y. I'm going to turn off the feature. I'm going to turn off the feature 2. And here under feature 3, I'm going to say kilometer marker. Number. Or nope, just kilometer marker. Because that's what it is. Now, since this is really the most important piece, I am going to click on this and make sure that it is visible. You can see it here. I want to get rid of this and this attribute. And I'm going to click, well, before I do that, you see it's highlighted? I'm going to move that up. And I'm going to keep moving that up by clicking on it. Yes, you need to do that. Alright, and I'm going to say OK. You can see here that you can add pop-up media, and that would be like an image. You could attach images to your data. And that's beyond the scope of this tutorial, but you can use the ArcGIS Online Help to figure out how to do that and explore that functionality. So I am finished configuring that, and I'm going to click Save Pop-Up. Now let's just see what happens. If I click on a kilometer marker, you'll see that the title actually says kilometer markers. The kilometer marker is K30, and I have the X coordinate and the Y coordinate. So that's all it is to configure the pop-up. Now, let's take a look here at the Land Resources Division, the track data. What happens if I click on a polygon? I don't get any information. That's because this pop-up has been disabled for my National Park Service boundaries. And you can see those symbolized here. So to enable that pop-up, if it is disabled, which it is, I can simply click on the down arrow to the right of that data layer and say Enable Pop-Up. And now if I click on a park unit, it's going to search, and you see that it's going to actually find the underlying data set. So I could come in and I could customize this as well by going to Configure Pop-Up. And I'm going to just put in here National Park Service boundary. And you'll notice that I'm leaving my pop-up here. It kind of helps me determine what I want to display. So I'm going to click on the Configure Attributes link here. Just move this up. And I'm going to keep the unit type, but I'm going to just kind of configure this a little bit. Okay. And park name, I'm going to just take that out. And unit code, I'm going to remove that too. But under unit name, I'm going to keep that one. And I'm also going to move it up. I'm going to turn off this GNIS ID because I just don't want people to see it. And, you know, it really doesn't. I'm going to leave the edit date. And you can see here that if it is a date field, which this one is, I have the option to change how that is displayed. Now, this could be set up in your data set as well. So it really is just exploring the data and understanding your data set. So I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to save my pop-up. Now if I click on one of the polygons, you can see that it looks a little cleaner. It says it's a National Park Service boundary. The unit name is Colonial National Historical Park. It is a National Historical Park, and this data was actually edited on December 17th, 2013. So that's how you create and customize your informational pop-ups. Once again, you just go to the right of the layer name and use the drop-down arrow to display your suite of tools, and you have a configure pop-up which allows you to go into a dialog box and make your informational pop-ups look the way you choose, and you can also remove those pop-ups if you don't want to display any of the relevant information. You just want to use it as a graphic. Alright, Thanks a lot, and I hope you have a good day configuring your pop-ups.